Welcome to our panel, The Skills Blueprint, teaching what employers actually want. Students today aren't just looking for a degree, they're looking for results. And employers aren't just hiring credentials, they're hiring capability. This panel's about closing that gap, how universities are rethinking course design, using skills audits, integrating micro-credentials, and forging deeper partnerships with industry to deliver outcomes that truly matter. Let's get into how education can be a launchpad for real-world success. Dr. Sudhir, let's start at the foundation. How do universities go about identifying what skills employers actually want and then translating that into curriculum? I'll just begin by adding that in the last panel, we were talking about a university course being 3 or 4 years long and already being outdated. So this is a very, very difficult question.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for raising this question. It is actually not a short-term game that universities need to organize, but also a long-term vision that what an educational institution contribute to create an impact on society or the sector that they contribute to. And it's a very long and wide exercise, honestly. When it comes to micro-credentials, it's easy to decide because it's a short investment of time, short investment in terms of money, and one person can earn multiple micro-credentials. But when it comes to choosing a degree or a undergraduate, postgraduate program is a huge commitment. The commitment of the amount of time that one need to invest in the money that is being invested, and then to look out the possible career opportunities. The universities do an exercise that give them a strategic imperative or a direction to choose something that stay much longer rather than just uh, getting away with the wave. So the programs that are being offered by the education institutions, they are more for a long-term vision. This is one take that we can have, that any program which is being offered by any of the educational institution is a long-term commitment of that institution, and hence are being offered by a very careful decision making that, okay, from 1 decade to now, 2 decades to now, or maybe several decades from now, the program is going to have the weight. What gets changed is to make it industry relevant or to create more impact over a period of time is the flavor that gets changed. As you see an example of management discipline go through various specialization over a period of time, then super specializations, dual specializations, multidisciplinary approach, then team approach. So something that gets changed there as the alumnus go and work, the feedback that they bring from their practice of work is one of the things that education institutes, they revamp their program. And when their students go for internship, the way they perform, the chances of their major contribution to the work, as well as their contribution or their placement in the industry also enforce the institutions to change in a direction where demand is more. So it's a very deeper exercise, it's a very wider exercise of choosing the programs and staying relevant to the industry. At the same time, these programs have a responsibility of driving the industry, I would say. It's a two-way process. One is that how do I bring in something which is practiced being in the industry, and second is how do I create new practices, right? So educational institutions also create the new directions for the industry by contributing their the workflow force that they prepare. It's a
So,
two-way exercise.
so in summary, they use magic.
It's not magic. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Mohammed Zahir, is skill mapping becoming a standard part of program design now, or is it still limited to a few forward-thinking institutions?
Hello? Yeah, it's working. First of all, thank you for giving an opportunity to speak. In specific to your question, I think it is increasingly becoming a very important topic. It's end of the day, what we are preparing our young young kids or young students is to ensure there's an employment after the 3 year of a degree or a master's degree. So we work in, for an example, if you look at the UAE recently, the outcome, they've changed from, the whole strategy is changed into a outcome-based, which means universities has to ensure that the students are employed. So it is very important for us while we design our course that we make sure that the skills that we give, impart onto the students are relevant. So when we work with the when we design the course, we work very closely with industry. We work very closely with the alumni, who are very important factors for getting the feedback of what we do, how we do well. But industry, we work very close with industry to make sure that what is given to them are relevant. So for an example, you see, there's a theory of what skills are. I think if you look at, there's knowledge, there's aptitude, there's technical skills. More importantly, there are soft skills that is coming out. And I think those needs to be imparted during the 3 years of undergraduate, specifically talking about undergraduate. See, in here in the UAE, master's students are all working professionals. They just need to update or upskill what they have. But undergraduate students are where the 3 years are very, very important for them. That's where the reshaping of them, their skills are done. So knowledge, I'm sure, knowledge, most of the universities are perfectly doing it well. But in terms of other aspects, so what we do in London South Bank University, UAE, we specifically keep that in mind. So we have a program called Discovery Project in the first year. So they discover themselves. Then we have something called professional skills, which means these are the skills that the new employers look for. So, for an example, cognitive skills, behaviors, cultural aspects. So most of the universities, and it is going to be becoming very challenging for the young graduates to secure an employment, because a lot of use of AI is coming to the recruitment. The skill set is going to be matched by the AI now. So it's going to be, they have to really work hard to ensure that the skill sets are improved. They are made sure that all 3 years they work very hard. So in the London South Bank, and again, we have something called placement support team. So they make sure the day when they start, they're trained to do basics of how to write a CV, and to other skills of communications. This topic, I just want to touch on this one again, because this is a research topic that I did almost 14 years ago. And it came out that what is more important for a student or an employer is that when the students or the candidates do apply for the job, certificates do matters, or the completion certificates or the degree certificates do matter. What matters the most, obviously, is the other skill set. More importantly, the communications and other soft skills skill set. But it's a long topic, and I will be here for very long, so I will leave it to the next panel member to discuss further. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no simple answer to that one, is there? I mean, the soft skills have been important since time immemorial. Aishwarya, how can academic programs, we touched on this before, evolve quickly enough to match the rapid changes in industry, especially in the buzzword, the all-important field of AI, but also in sustainability and digital business? How are you keeping up? How is everyone keeping up?
So how we kind of tackle this is just keeping in touch with people in the industry, trying to get them on campus, trying to speak with them regularly, and seeing what is out there and implementing that. And AI is ever changing, but it's important to know that for at least a time period, it is going to stay like this. And to use AI, you can keep up with AI. So integrating technology in your education courses, all the programs that we've brought here from our home campus have been very tech oriented. And for sustainability, I think that grows across each industry. And just having, not using too much paper, doing it again on technology is just going to help with the sustainability as well. And just like I mentioned, keeping up with the corporates, talking to them, getting them on campus, getting them to engage with students. And then what happens is that the students start thinking about it, and then they come up with ideas, and then you try and implement those. So I think it's constantly communicating, getting kids as well into this process, because they are the new age, they are thinking faster than we are. So trying to take feedback from them and people in the industry is how I think you can keep up with the AI trends and the sustainability trends.
It it sounds absolutely crazy. I mean, I had this picture in my mind of, you know, the curriculum being written in one room as it was being delivered in the next room. And then when you talked about using AI to write the curriculum on AI, I had this picture of the AI writing the curriculum as it was being delivered. And then the students themselves writing the curriculum.
Like, why not? I mean,
It
it,
sounds like mayhem.
it does sound like mayhem, but I'm not saying that, ChatGPT should write your curriculum. But there is a person behind ChatGPT as well who's putting in those prompts, and you need to take what is relevant, implement that, and then discard what is not. And not everything that even the kids suggest you should take into account, but broadening their horizons, giving them a platform to come up with ideas that can be implemented, and then working out a strategy of how it can be implemented. And maybe it's not for you today, but they will keep working on it until it's a sustainable model, is what I think. Yeah.
It really hints at power structures changing a lot.
If you wish, I would like to share an instance here. Well, this is my fifth year in UAE, and thank you. I'm a scholar throughout. I mean, more into exploring new things and publishing. Work as an editor in chief of a few journals. And in our team, when I joined, we were a sectoral school because healthcare was undergoing to the turbulent time, or it was getting into the new wave. People were realizing its importance. And I'm a part of Gulf Medical University, located in Ajman. Our college was, or our department was, College of Healthcare Management and Economics. We were thinking and we ideated that healthcare needs more policy framework, healthcare need more budgeting and looking at the ROIs, and different other sectoral companies, be it personal care, be it insurance or IT, they also need to come and join hands. So it's going to be a multi-industry sector rather than just being a medical facility. When we started working, it was looking at those sectors. Over a period of time, we realized that it is going to be much more, and it is going to be technology driven. And developing those skills will take time because, see, everybody is talking about AI today, but honestly, there are very few those who actually have capability in AI. It is very crucial. And first, what we did is before offering anything to the larger audience, first we had to develop our capabilities. Majority, or say 50% of my team members, we all developed our hands on AI. It took us time. It took us time for us to understand, learn, assimilate, and then design the way we are going to provide this to our students, audience, and the takers. And then last year, we changed ourselves. Now, we are not a College of Healthcare Management and Economics. We are Tumbe College of Management and AI. How did we get that confidence is we build our resources, we build our capabilities, and it took us time. See, capitalizing on the name looks very easy, that okay, it is digital AI, let's keep it, and things will start happening. But if we really need to contribute that vision, value, or bring that impact, it takes time. Until and unless we won't have our attitude to bring it to the larger audience or to the community or our own capacities, it's very difficult. It is. And that's the reason I said that it's a long-term commitment. It's not a overnight magic that somebody can bring by just looking at the buzzword. It requires huge commitment of the entire team. And I'm so proud that I'm a part of a team that doesn't offer just a single stream, but we offer multidiscipline, and we all work together. I'll get to learn so many things about healthcare facilities and other industries which I never knew. And now we are getting to One Health. We are opening our veterinary hospital as well. And I'm sure it's going to be a new learning road for me, with a bumpy road, but it is going to.
Thank you, Dr. Sudhir. Thank you. Mohammed, are there any examples that you can call upon, either at London South Bank University or others, of course redesigns that have, with the aim of making them more workforce relevant, that have directly led to better job opportunities for graduates or employability scores?
Hello? I think it's a annual activity, and it must be an annual activity. Because with the pace of technology, pace of things changing, I think we need to do that. However, course designing itself is a very tedious task. However, what we could do within the course is something probably in class assignments or in class work. That's what we can do to adapt to the changes, what is happening. But we work very closely with the professional bodies. For an example, all our courses are accredited by the professional bodies. So they are the ones who keeps us updated about things. So we work, our accounting courses are accredited by ACCA. Our management courses are accredited by the CMI, Chartered Management Institute of UK. And then the computer science courses are accredited by the BCS. So, which means this helps us to keep us up to date with the latest technologies that is evolving. However, I also think the lectures or the faculties have a very important role to play in ensuring that these are imparted onto them. So we encourage the lectures to make sure that the updated pedagogy is provided, the recent one, updated one. In terms of assessments, in-house assessments, these are all updated in line with what is the current trend in the industry. So there's always a feedback loop from the industry that we want to work with. Plus, the lectures or the faculties are encouraged to go into research to identify the new trends, and not just the research in terms of the industry-wise research, but in terms of the pedagogy as well. So all our lectures are advised or encouraged to go take the fellowship in Higher Education Academy, which is the UK body. But in addition to it, I think we also have a requirement to comply with the quality assurance and the UK PSF, which is the professional standard framework body. So which, in a way, there is an actions from the policymaker side, but at the same time, in-house, we make sure that everything is relevant to what is happening within the current scenario of the industry.
I was going to ask you if you ask your faculty to if you kick them out every few years and make them practice for a while and then come back in and keep teaching.
Ideally, when we hire the staff, we make sure there's some industry experience are there. However, we have to be inclusive as an employer. There's two aspects of things. We as an employer, we have to be inclusive, which means there might be a faculty who has always been researching, but do not have experience in teaching. That's why the Higher Education Academy comes into the place. That's where the pedagogy is taught. These recent scientific methods of teachings are taught. And I think teaching was an art back in the days. It is a science now. It has been an evolving thing. I think everybody is encouraged into going into that to ensure that they equip themselves with the latest technology in the pedagogy, latest ideas in pedagogy. Active teaching is very much encouraged. So that also ensures that the students are involved in the process. So in a way, we address the soft skill issues. So there's a word, it's called, I don't know, apprenticeship. Apprenticeship is a very popular in the UK or in the Western world, but I think UAE has been trying with the NAFIS program. They're very successful in it. But we have limitations of apprenticeship, offering apprenticeships here. But what we do is a little different apprenticeship. It's called cognitive apprenticeship. So, but in-house, in class, but in apprenticeship, they have to go outside and work. But whereas in similar experience of an apprenticeship is provided in-house with a make of using of technologies, with the use of hands-on approach, mentorship by the lectures. There is every student is been provided by tutor or a personal tutor who walks with the student throughout the 3-year period. So there is a database collected about the student. The journey is collected. Every checks and balances to make sure the students are ready to be employed, or whether they are in their career, they want to start up a business of their own. We encourage that from throughout the process of 3 years of the undergraduate program.
Thank you, Mohammed. Aishwarya, we were talking before about micro-credentials and badges. They're gaining ground. What's their real value in the eyes of employers? Are these kind of marketing tactics for the university to get little add-ons, or is it something that is really quite valuable for the students to enter into the workforce with?
They're definitely valuable. It kind of is a small insight, and it's if you're doing micro credentials, you should do it for a very specific kind of a skill, because it takes time to hone a skill, and the duration is maybe only a couple of hours or 60 hours, and it's not enough to hone it. But if you specify and you really dig deep and just try and hone one particular thing, I think it can be very beneficial. It should also be very related to the program that you're studying, and it can be an add-on. And doing it from maybe a very, even employers, they look for these additional skills that you have picked up along the way. So Mr. Mohammed was speaking about soft skills. So even communication, if you try and hone in on that with these micro credentials, it will benefit you. It will come through to your employer as well. And I would 100% say that you should, keep learning and doing it with an external badge or whatever incentive. The badge is an incentive, that you have a badge. But just keep developing your skills in these micro doses is definitely important. And employers also look out for it, definitely.
Thank you. Dr. Sudhir, can short form learning ever fully compete with a traditional degree when it comes to credibility? Similar to the last question.
Yeah, well, I look at it the same way. Like philosophy is the same what just Ashwarya said, but I look at it from a different lens, and it's my perspective. It is that as a person, we have a philosophy, we have a psychology, we have our passion, we have our interests, and those stay with us forever, no matter what we do. And we as a person are more important and feel fulfilling to whatever career we are in. Any type of credentials, or especially micro credentials, they come just like a makeup and touch up on our face, right? They can make us look that, hey, I am also one of you to the other people in that particular field, but they cannot change us as a workforce what we are. And that's the reason, if they have a curiosity, if they have a passion towards that field, then it is easy for them to establish. And that comes with the traditional courses. Because until and unless you don't have that long term commitment, you do not know in and out of it. It is.
I do
I'm-
agree with
yeah.
you. Like I think what she had asked was that is it a replacement, and I totally agree. It's not a replacement in any means.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is not a replacement. It is to test water. As an example, when we were running these, we know that these AI programs are they look really attractive. That, oh, if once you are AI professional, you will have this much of salary demand and all, more number of job opportunities. Everybody is talking about it, right? Everybody is covering about it. It looks so fancy, it attracts. But when we make student to sit in the class and learn coding and do that hard work, it's very difficult. It's difficult because they need to grow their skills and upscale themselves every year. And even the senior people that we get in our master program, they come with 10 years of experience. Our average experience is 12 and a half years that we get in our master program. And Imagine how much time they have spent, but the only thing is they have not been dedicated to this one profession, and they also face a lot of challenge. It is challenging, but something that you drives you that time is your own curiosity, your own passion towards it, and you keep on learning. Even if it doesn't offer you any type of a job, still we learn. Like how we started way back. Imagine 8 years back, we I was learning artificial intelligence and all these Power BIs to Cognos and Business Pro. Had I knew that the world is going to transform so much? No, I didn't know that time. Were we prepared that okay, COVID will come and I need to prepare myself for healthcare? I'm a core business management marketing strategy guy. No, but what helped me out to land myself there was my passion. So if somebody have a passion to float with the flow, to keep on learning things, that keeps them live. They will keep on breathing. So micro credentials, I would suggest that people should capture in an area that they are interested in rather than choosing something fancy.
Lovely, good point. I wanted to move on to industry partnerships. Now, what separates something that might be a token industry partnership, maybe to see the two logos together on a board behind us, or a transformative one?
I think it's definitely going to be a transformative one. It's about how we work with industry. What I think both sides are here to gain. So we're solving a biggest problem of industry, especially in the middle sector or the middle income, middle managers, is where the industry has a problem, and they have a problem with the academics. I think if we work closer, I think the problem can be solved. So, for an example, I can give you a few examples that I'm very keen on attending industry academic partnership conferences. And often the problem of the industries are they want to absorb internships, but they do not know how to manage those internships. It's a cost to an employer point of view. They see it as a cost. I think we need to, as a academic partners, we all need to evolve, come together, maybe solve that problem, give an employer a framework of how to measure, how to manage an internship, because they see it as a cost. I mean, I definitely can solve a problem of understanding an internship thing. And in addition to it, I think when we do talk, when we go get into dialogue with the industry, I think we can solve the problem of what is expected and what we deliver. So, for an example, we can inculcate or add new learnings into the curriculum so that it meets the industry standards. So, in specific to the industry, for an example, we have HR, we have AI, we have IT, we have cybersecurity. There are certain frameworks which is a superficial or a top layer framework, but then specific to it, I think we can go into them and speak to them and get these so that we can sort out, I mean, sort out their problems, and we can obviously give them the enough number of candidates that they're looking for to absorb in the industry.
It's good to know that the feeling is mutual. Aishwarya, are there some examples of university employer collaborations that you can give that have changed how students learn or engage with the job market?
Yeah, so we did this in our campus here, and we've taken out an entire semester, and we want them as a part of their project work to go out in the field and work and do internships, and I think that that has been the biggest change that I've seen. That we wanted to collaborate with industries. We wanted to collaborate with companies that have a similar mindset. And for that, we've changed our entire curriculum almost to just incorporate that. Yeah.
I just wanted to add on to that. I think, as I told you, this has been a key area for me personally, because I've been engaging with industry academic partnerships, looking at what industry wants. So what we have done is something we have incorporated internship as a compulsory module for the internship as a compulsory module in the course. So which means the students get an opportunity, first an opportunity to really feel the work, see how the work, and obviously if there's a change of mind, they could still have time to change their mind. Obviously, this comes in the first year, but we have incorporated that. But it is a module by itself, which means there is a learning outcomes. There's an assessment of the internship. Obviously, it's partly done by the employer or partly done by us. So this helps the students, like I said, to have an insight on the workplace environment.
I might open it up to our audience members. For these prospective university students here, did you have any examples that you wanted to share with us? Any questions you wanted to ask about how university institutions are answering what the skills that employers want, how they are tailoring their courses to you? No? Anyone else like to ask any questions of our experts here while we have them here? We'll keep on with the discussion then. Okay, I'll put a question to all of you here. What is a skill that students think employers want, but it's less relevant than they actually believe? Mohammed.
It's a very, I think, you know what, as an employer, one of the skills that the employer looks at is the problem solving skills. I think this is what the students do not realize that's very important. Because we're thrown up with challenges every day at work. How do we solve as an independent person? Because employees do not need, what do I do? They do need to have that question. The mindset is, can I solve it this way? Rather than asking the question, how do I solve it? So that really changes. That's a very important skill set. There's quite a lot of research about it. I think that's one of the key aspects that is not very much, or the students do not realize that's important.
So perhaps to flip that around, they might think that employers want them to be obedient or to ask a lot of questions, but really employers would like them to come with a solution in mind to a problem.
Exactly. I think that's the key thing. And it's solution. And it also, on a personality point of view, it also helps you to develop your personality, your work, and how you solve the problems. Because you're not going to be middle manager forever. You're going to be solving the problems maybe 10, 20 years down the line. You're going to be a senior manager too. That's where these skills that you have accumulated during your early years will help you.
Very insightful. Yes.
Yeah, Mohammed, you have touched really a wonderful aspect which is actually required but also missing in some students, a majority of the students, I would say, because they have a lot of they depend more on technology, they depend more on their mentors, their seniors, and also like world had changed. Now we have less number of kids at home, so parents also pay huge attention to them. They keep on solving their problems and keep on making their way easy. Earlier we had a tough road to travel where we are. The students are facilitated more in the upcoming generation, which is not bad. I with the passage of time, it should be there. But skills are like diamonds. Once you have passion to collect diamonds, you'll keep on collecting them no matter these are white, blue, red, ruby, emerald, whatever. So your skills are like your diamonds. Once you have those on your fingers or on your neck, so you're going to be most valuable person, no matter where you are, right? So these are endless. Soft skills, hard skills, team skills, whatever, whatever, whatever. But something like Muhammad said, problem solving skill. It is that not in one situation, not once, is going to continue. And the second that I felt, Mohammed, is decision making skill. When you have everything versus when you don't have anything. Decision making skill, taking a right decision at a right time, actually make you reach where you dream for or where you think to be one day. So problem solving skills and decision making skills, these two skills are the fundamental skills basically. These are humanitarian skills, these are personality skills. So these are required.
Aishwarya.
Yeah. So I think what you had asked was what are they not looking for, right? So I think more than a skill, the mindset of being perfect, or we're very we won't make mistakes, we'll be on time, this and that. I think that's a skill that the employers don't usually, look for. One skill that I look for in all my employees is initiative. Like, I wish that all the employees take initiative in their work, and you don't have to stand with a stick on their head, do your work, do this, do that. So I think if you are, firstly, you should go into something that you have passion about. Initiative will automatically comes, and take initiative in your work. Yeah.
Brilliant. Such useful tips for anyone. Decision making, problem solving, initiative. Thank you for those. Okay, so all of you, a final question as well. If you could add one skill to every university course overnight, what would it be? Beyond the ones that we have just mentioned here. Every course.
Innovation, innovation, innovation. Until and unless you don't open your mind and you do not think of something unconventional, or you do not think of adding incremental value to anything, the new version, the new you, or the better you is very hard to find. So a deal of doing something new and adding to what is already existing is something that in innovation I would imagine that I'm the decision maker. Then I would say that innovation is compulsory. There is not going to be anything in the curriculum which does not foster the innovative mindset of my pupils. So innovation is something that I think.
Let me play devil's advocate for just one moment. Are there any areas, any courses where innovation is not so important?
I okay. Can you give me any example of a?
Okay. The example I had in my mind is probably something where there are not too many jobs these days, but I was thinking of something like art history or something where you're harking back on past learnings.
Well, the way of presenting them. Maybe if you cannot change the core, you can always change the packing,
And,
right?
and
The
this is a
way,
discipline that is not
yeah.
necessarily a
So paraphrase, the
vocational.
way you put it, the way you make other people feel it interesting, understand the value of it is also important, and that's also innovation. Innovation at the surface versus innovation at the core. Maybe I won't say that it is a new invention that I would like education institutions. So think about, not probably because that takes time, but adding an incremental innovation rather than a breakthrough one. It is going to be useful, but because they will at least think of something new, which
Yes,
is
we are
required.
thinking about teaching the skills that employers want. So, yes, innovation. Mohammed, what is one skill that you would add to every course if you could snap your fingers and make it so?
I wish you give me a couple of skills, but yeah, I think critical thinking skills is one aspect that I think is very important. It needs to be developed, and it needs to be developed over the period of time. And I think it's going to be increasingly challenged with the new generation because everything is fed into them. So, in terms of ability for them to think, is literally nothing. Today you solve a problem, you go to AI, generative AI, to solve your problem, and over a period of time, I think our critical thinking skills is going to fade away from us. I mean, I can give you an example of my own. I was really good at spelling. Thanks to word spelling correction in the word, I've lost, to be honest with you, certain things have been lost. And now imagine everything that we go to generative AI, which is a good thing. And I think we should encourage, we should ethically, we should use it rightly. But at the same time, we should also be able to think critically, think from our own mindset and see what is best for us or to the industry and the organizations. Yeah.
I feel what you're saying here. My children use their tablets, which have autocorrect on them. They're not learning how to spell words, they don't know the difference between there and there. Aishwarya, what is one skill that you would inject into every single one of your courses overnight if you could?
Adaptability. I think for them to be, again, not just in their professional life, but it kind of stems down into their personal lives as well. Just to be adaptable to situations, take it as it comes, come up with solutions, and it includes everything that my colleagues here have also said. And I would just sum it up in a one word as adaptable. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Are there any questions from the audience, from our experts on how to tap into the skills that employers want? Thank you, Dr. Sudhir.
The universities is adapting day by day with the skills that is required by the employers, but still the students are facing a challenge of getting into the market or getting into the corporate. Now when they graduate and when they apply for a job, there is another talent pool who have experience, who've been in the industry for some time. So what the university can do, or what is the universities or the markets, the higher education market is currently doing to solve that problem, because that's a big problem that most of the students face right now.
I think it's very relevant, especially in the UAE context. So there's a pool of students who's graduating, but UAE employer has ability to recruit from around the world. So the students who's graduating is competing not just with the fellow UAE students, but with the rest of the world. So I think there's two ways of looking at it. One, the the student himself should identify and must be aware that he is competing with the rest of the world. So that 3-year program or 4-year undergraduate program, you really need to upskill himself. I think the universities, irrespective of where they are from, most of the universities do try to provide some element of it to improve their skills. But often the students do not make use of it. The participation ratio may be a little less. I'm sure most of you would agree with it. But I think students should make the best of all the services that is provided by the universities. The universities only want one thing, that is your employment. They want to make sure that you're placed well in their career, you prosper well in your career. And there's so many events or so many programs, so many initiatives that is brought up by the universities are to ensure that you're employed. So I think on the other side of things, I think the only benefit for a student, obviously, who's from the UAE is the UAE experience, which adds on to their CV when you do apply. So, that helps the UAE students because they've been here in the UAE, they have got some UAE experience, they know, they're well aware of the region. So it helps when you compare it to the rest of the world candidates.
I hope that answers your question.
If I can briefly just add to what Mohammed said. Well, when it comes to, I'm sure that all of us, we keep on thinking about it, that who is responsible for ourselves and from where the major contribution to our life come from. Our guardians can provide us the facilities. An institution can provide the platforms. But who is actually responsible for the kind of life, career that we are in? We ourselves are. For the initial jobs, multitasking is the key. The more you can do, you'll become the favorite one of everybody in the office because you're the junior most. Once when you are available, yes, boss. I mean, you're open to contribute, open to learn, open to support, work an extra mile, work for an extra hour for yourself, then you create the difference. Because over a period of time, it is not a single thing that help you out. We are a package. And once when you have spent a few years, corporate would like to see you as a package, to have the bundle of various skills, whether it is contributing to the team, contributing in direct objectives of the organization, or building direct business, or bringing revenue, or doing more feasibility, or bringing more innovation. You know what all everybody is talking about here. As you get matured, you're expected to be a package. So it is easy if you develop yourself as a package. You don't really need to feel that you'll be out of the competition or So at the initial stage, develop yourself as a package, remain more open. This is what I usually advise to my students. And as you grow as a professional, let your worth come on the table as a package. So this is what I think it should be.
Thank you. Aishwarya, did you have anything to add on this one?
Yeah, so you were saying what can universities do? So it comes in a range of things. So when you come to college, especially in undergraduate, you're more about your friends, you're more about, the extracurriculars, I would say. But from the beginning, you should know that this is the trajectory that you're going to go on, and when you are starting, you're at the starting point, know that you can, apart from what the university is providing, because I'm sure every university is giving counseling sessions, placement offers, you should take that initiative yourself to see what the university is doing, get engaged with the university, work with your university. That's the easiest job you can get. If you're doing something in marketing, work in marketing for your university. See how you can engage with your university, and it shouldn't, especially in the beginning, don't worry about the money that is coming to you. It will come, but the experience that you get, start off small, start off like low. It Every job, even being a barista, gives you something. It gives you discipline. You have to get up at 9 o'clock in the morning, be at work, be here, be there, and you'll learn skills. So start small, but start. Do something. Don't just sit and do your regular just university work. Think of what you can do and implement it in your day to day. And if you take initiative, like, the university can get you to a point, but you have to come to that point as well. So it's a back and forth, I would say.
Thank you so much. I do have to wrap it up here. We've gone over our time. It sounds like very much the universities are interpreting what the employers want, but ultimately it's up to the student, the individual, to put it all together in themselves as a package, to have the right attitude, an entrepreneurial spirit, even for themselves as a product. So I hope that that's helped you. I know I'll be thinking more about the package that I'm presenting as well. So thank you very much to my panelists. What an interesting discussion. Dr. Sudhir Ranha, the Associate Professor and Program Director at Tumbay College of Management and AI in Healthcare, Gulf Medical University, Ajman. Mohammed Zahir, CEO of London South Bank University, and Aishwarya Bakshi, CEO of Jaipur National University, Ras Al Khaimah campus. Thanks so much for all your insights today.
And thank you so much to you for the brilliant questions, engaging us in this discussion, and contributing value to the upcoming generations.
Thank you for
Thank
your
so much.
thanks.